All right, now I'm not talking Trump. I'm not talking Trump. Far too easy. I am not talking Trump. They've done it down the dial the whole entire day. You want to throw up. I am not talking Donald Trump. Easy pickings. Let's get back to what really counts. Why every once in a while do we get these mass shootings and we can't do a thing about it? So that's what I want to touch on at the top of the program anyway. Maybe I'll give in a short while and we'll talk Donald Trump. We'll appease all the people that enjoy that type of thing. You know, if it's in the news, you have to talk about it. You can't retreat, but it gets to be a little wearing, a little redundant. It gets kind of, I guess, the same cookie cutter radio that you can't stand. So I want to talk about why these killers go in and do what they do, whether it be a school, a movie house, etc. I want to know why they're drugged up the way they are, why they consolidate all these weapons, why they do the things they do, and why are they able to do it the next time, or the next person is able to get the weapons, get the psychotropic drugs, make the threats on the computer, on the social media page. They can do all these things. They're never thwarted, never stopped. They're just allowed to go kill again, maybe 10 or 20 people. We got off great the last time, folks. Only 6 people got knocked off. That was great. 6 people got knocked off. You know, usually it's 10 or 20 or 30, but this time just 6. We got off very, very good. Wouldn't you say? I would say so, right? 3 kids. Who cares? 9 years old. Who cares about these young people? Who cares enough to put an armed guard or a weapons expert in a school to protect your children? Who cares enough for that? Answer, folks, answer. Nobody, not really. Nobody cares. They're waiting with bated breath for the next one. The journalist, the media, they salivate when a killing goes down. They can write a good story. They can talk about gun control. They can talk about everything except what I'm going to talk about tonight. Because what I'm going to talk about tonight takes a little brain power. It takes a little upstairs to speak about the psychotropic drugs that these killers, these shooters, are inevitably involved with. What do I mean by involved with? It seems that each and every one of these people are on a cocktail of drugs, the psychiatric meds. They're given to them legally by a trained professional, by a psychologist, psychiatrist. Yeah, some psychologists can hand out medication. I could swear there was a time when a psychologist could not hand out medication, just a psychiatrist. I don't think that's the case anymore. The nurse practitioner can hand you psychotropic medication. The psychologist can hand you psychotropic medication. And of course, the goofball psychiatrist can hand it to you because everybody's on this type of medication. I would say more than half. Do you know what that means? In a country of 350 million, when I tell you right now that more than half of the population is on a psychotropic med or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. All right, I'll calm down and get to it. This character that went in, he, she, whatever the hell it was, I still can't figure it out. Did he have a penis or didn't he have a penis? I'm still trying to figure that end out. You tell me. This character walked in, and I predicted it. I told you about it. I said, I guarantee he has a stockpile of weapons, which he did. She, he. I guarantee that he, she is on at least 3 medications of the psychotropic nature. I guaranteed it, and of course I'm right. When was I ever wrong? I don't remember one time when I was wrong concerning this topic. They all fit a cookie cutter style, a cookie cutter type. Each and every one of these killers, they're off an assembly line. Assembly line. They turn them out at Ford Motors. Are you with me? I know I'm being facetious, but it sure as hell feels that way, doesn't it? That they turn them out like a car dealer, like an assembly line. Inevitably, almost each and every time, a myriad of psychotropic medication that would choke a horse, as I like to say. We never delve into that aspect of it. We never delve into the aspect that these people were addicted from childhood. They've been taking these type of drugs when they were deemed hyperactive, when they were children. When they acted a little strange, they were curious, they were rambunctious. All these things that the teachers had to put up with. They have no capacity to put up with anything anymore. They can't handle a curious, rambunctious kid. So what do? You drug them up. You throw Ritalin, Adderall at the child. Then I guarantee he'll shut up. I guarantee you fill him to the gills with Ritalin, Adderall. Guarantee he's going to shut up. He's going to shut up good. You can go about your adult business, parent, teacher, and you won't have to worry about hearing from little Johnny anymore because he's been rendered mute. They start from a young age. They graduate to other drugs. They stay with the prescribed medication. They don't give those up. And, a little cocaine, a little heroin, whatever the hell they're doing. But even if they're not doing recreational drugs, those harsh prescription drugs are quite enough. They're quite enough to bear for little Johnny, who grows to be a killer. He grows to, as soon as he becomes of age, he gets himself an arsenal. He's already got a grudge, because these people, they have grudges steeped in anger and hatred that goes back, I'd say, about 10, 15 years. In this case, this person, the last shooting, were there any shootings that I don't know about since the school shooting when 6 people were killed? Maybe there's been a few shootings. It's been a few days. Perhaps there's been a few shootings since the last school shooting. I'm not sure. If not, I'm not abreast of these things. Please keep me abreast of these things, folks. If there's been another killer on the loose since then, shooting up school, movie theater, grocery store, what have you, since the last time we've spoken, then maybe you can fill me in, because that could be the case. That could very well be the case. They have an arsenal. Sometimes the family buys them this arsenal. Sometimes the mother provides the troubled child with a few guns. The family member says, you look like you can use a few weapons just to defend yourself. And they buy this troubled soul an arsenal. And the grudge. This, like I was saying before I lost my train of thought, this thing that shot up the school, he actually held a grudge. This is a grammar school. This grudge goes back to grammar school days. Do you know that he immediately went for the child of a pastor, a minister, that was spouting, I guess, anti-transgender rhetoric that he found out about? So the first victim that he went after was the 9-year-old child of this person. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? He served notice. He said he wanted to kill himself. He said he wanted to kill himself. He said he didn't want to be on the earth anymore. Somebody tried to talk him out of it. He said, no. I don't think I can hack it anymore. I think I'd rather be dead. So when you hear something like that, you automatically think, well, the cat's going to go in and slit his wrist, right? You don't automatically think that he's going to go and shoot up a school and take out your kid. You don't automatically go there from, I'm suicidal, I want to kill myself, I don't want to live anymore. You don't automatically go to the torrential shooting, the horrendous shooting in a school that we had to hear about a few days back. You'd think it never happened. We're on to bigger and better things. We're on to Donald Trump. We're on to Donald Trump, that self-serving maniac. That's what we're on to. Why do they fill these people up with these drugs? And do these drugs really work? Do they alleviate schizophrenia? Do they alleviate OCD? Do they alleviate chronic depression? Do they alleviate tremendous anxiety? Do they work? Are they non-addictive the way they say they are? Some of these questions are rhetorical, so you don't really necessarily have to answer them. Some you know the answer to already because you have a brain between your ears. What do I say? They don't do much, and they do more harm than good. They're not the end-all, be-all. But this country is drowning in them. We are up to our ears in this type of stuff. And each and every time, folks, when they go back into these killers' backgrounds, they find out that indeed they've been seeing a myriad of psychiatrists. They've been dealing with psychotropic meds. They've been dealing with weapons. They've been putting out signs that they're going to do the dastardly deed that they eventually do. But do we take heed? Do we notice? Do we say, hey, wait, let's put the brakes on this guy. Let's stop him before he does his damage? Of course not. Of course not. We don't do that. We are not steadfast. We don't foresee anything in the future. Oh, he'll be fine. It's just a phase. Maybe he'll grow out of it. Maybe he's angry. He needs help. Put him on a few other drugs. Maybe he's not taking enough. Yeah, but he's taking 5 different mood stabilizers. Well, let's get him on 3 more. Maybe there'll be a change. That's the remedy. That's the remedy. And we don't realize the ramifications. Every single one of these drugs say, watch out for suicide. Side effect, adverse effect, watch out for suicide. The user may become suicidal. It may magnify suicidal thoughts, so on and so forth. The drug-addled person taking this may become even more drug-addled. Watch if the person may be bipolar because he may not be able to handle this medication. It works in 1 out of 5 people, but sometimes it causes sudden death. Do you know that sometimes an adverse side effect that they list on that long list of side effects actually say death? I understand that these medicines have consequences, dire consequences sometimes, but they got the balls. They have the balls to actually list death right there. They actually have a commercial on TV saying, yeah, the person will list the side effects at the end of the commercial. Have you seen this? It's kind of comical. Yes, it could cause dry mouth, no urination, an empty, shallow feeling. You'll get dizziness and barely be able to concentrate, and sudden death has occurred in a few cases. They actually have to say that on a commercial, and the people still buy them, and the psychiatrists still prescribe them. Like candy. If I went into my doctor right now, I said, I'm a little bit depressed. Well, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. I have 4 or 5 scripts to take to Walgreens. Are you with me? I hope so. I hope you're staying with me tonight. Donald Trump, who cares? I ran it down the last time we got together. I ran it down how horrendous the whole situation is indicting a president. I ran it down how it emboldens our enemies, how we're just like a third world nation now. We have no gravitas. I've said it. I don't need to reiterate and, say it again. Right, Richie in Brooklyn? Am I right, Barbara? Dale, am I right? Eric, Ray, Jimmy, Izzy, Sean, Peter, Pumpkin Eater. Am I right? You see, we approach it wrong. When you're addicted to a med or addicted to a drug, or you have been, they say once you are, you're always addicted. I guess that's true. I wouldn't know. I actually wouldn't know. I've never done a drug. I'm the oddball in the group. I've never altered my consciousness, never felt the need. I like myself a little too much. Why does everybody feel the need to be somebody else? Why can't you take your sadness for what it is? It's a sign that you have to make a change. And some people are helped by these drugs, I'm sure. Maybe 1 out of 10 have a success story. I'd say it runs about 10, maybe 15%. Nothing more. Why, oh, why do we think it's the end-all, be-all, the answer, the panacea? Why do we have these feelings in the United States right now, in this country? I don't know. They wear their addiction like a badge of honor. Yeah, I went to the #1 rehab facility there. I had to go out there to Utah. I had to play like I was a Mormon. I went to that #1 facility out there in Utah, and I got my help. I got a 30-day program. I was clean. I was clean in 30 days. Now I want to help everybody be clean like me. I want to give my circumstance over to the public. I want to make myself look like a big shot and pretend to help others when I'm just pretty much self-aggrandizing my own situation. I'm going to try hard to help everybody now, the badge of honor. I'm saying it poorly, but you get my drift. Addiction used to be shameful. Used to be deathly afraid of people finding it out. Do you remember those days? They may have been the good old days when people were decent and they were actually ashamed of their bad actions. We're not ashamed anymore. If you haven't gone through some kind of hideous drug problem, you have no cachet. You have nothing. I should make it up. I should actually make up a heroin addiction that I had 20 years ago. You'd think higher of me than you do now. You think more highly of me now. Excuse my bad grammar. You think more highly of me now. You would. I'm going to make it up from now on. Yeah, I used to stick a spike in my arm. Yeah, me and Philip Seymour Hoffman used to shoot up together. Yeah, we were working on a project. He got me introduced to heroin, and there was no way back for me. Yeah, but I kicked it. No, but I kicked it. Oh, you should see me now, boy. I'm playing my sports. I'm doing my exercise. I live a clean lifestyle. But man, there was one time I was down and out on that heroin, boy. I should make up that story. You'd think much more highly of me than you do now. Not that you love me now, because I know people are despising me out there. I couldn't give a sheet. But that's true. Is that not true? Badge of honor? What happened to shame? A little shame will do you good sometimes, you know? A little shame would do this generation, this weirdo generation. What a bunch of weirdos they are. The language on these weirdos. A little shame would do them good. Why don't they get red in the face sometimes with shame? I'd like to see it happen. They're not ashamed of anything. There was a time, if you were a drug addict, alcoholic, you name it, oh, you were deathly ashamed. Do you think for one minute that self-esteem is everything? That no matter what you do, there are no consequences, and then you should be proud and never be ashamed of anything that you've done? No, no, no. A good dose of shame would do this generation and this country good. I'm not saying people have to walk around with their head down, but my goodness, we've gone the other way. And what is the other way? Nuts. Insane. You know, because in my day, don't you love it? In my day, if I was caught doing something that wasn't right, my father would say, hey, what are you doing? Oh, first words out of my mouth. Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. Not because I wanted to appease him necessarily, not because I wanted to get out of punishment. He never punished me anyway, just yelled at me in the moment. Because I felt genuinely bad about taking a cookie from the top shelf, about staying out an hour later than I was supposed to. I felt bad about that. And I said, I'm sorry in a genuine fashion. These people don't know the meaning of sorry, don't know the meaning of shame. They don't know anything. But I do what I want to do when I want to do it, no holds barred. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. Your generation destroyed us. I don't care about you people. You are a bunch of old people, and we know best. We have 20 years, 25 years on this earth. We know better than you. That's the equivalent of a moron. And they're actually running things. That whole mentality has seeped into the American consciousness that we all behave that way. No consequences for anything. Nothing whatsoever. Anything goes. Do not worry about it. Don't worry your pretty head about it. Don't get flustered because anything goes. Why is each and every person almost on these psychotropic medications? Why can they not get enough of these psychotropic medications? You tell me, because I'd like to know, because I have no idea whatsoever, because one time some crackpot doctor tried to put me on one. I swear, I took this like an idiot. I was stupid back in 87, I'm sorry, after my father passed away. I actually took this. I thought I was going to just, the things that were happening to me from this antidepressant, that's no longer on the market now, by the way. I mean, these things go by the boards pretty quickly. You can be on a psychotropic med, an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, and then you'll look for it about 5 years later. Oh, we took that off the market. Too many bad side effects. Wait a minute. I took that medication for 6 years. Are there any long-lasting effects that I should know about? Oh, no. The medical profession will tell you, no, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Your body rids itself of this type of thing. Oh, yeah? I think that these meds have a long-lasting effect on people. I took that medication that I'm talking about for 2 weeks. I couldn't get over that medication for 6 months. That had a lasting effect on me back in 1987 after my father kicked it. I was so screwed up for 6 months after taking that medication for 2 weeks. And of course, that medication is off the market. They don't make it anymore. Oh, that's rather curious. Oh, what a coincidence. It's probably like rat poison, that's why. Probably as deadly and as harmful as rat poison. That's why. And, you know, they'll tell you it's out of your system. Yeah, Say it again there, Doc. I may believe you next time. Say it again, Big Pharma. I may believe you next time. The whole country's run by Pfizer. I may believe you next time. Pfizer rules the roost in this country. Yeah. All right, let me get myself together. Get myself a drink of water. Get myself my medication. I'm kidding. And I'll be right back. The Romeo program is brought to you by Dr. Gil Liederman, smack dab in the heart of New York City, 1384 Broadway, between 38th and 39th. Easy access, Port Authority, Grand Central, Penn Station. 212 Choices, Dr. Gil. He specializes in radiosurgery. What is it? An invisible beam directed at that cancer, leaving that healthy cells, those healthy cells surrounding that cancer, intact. Something set apart from the others, something painless, bloodless. Without hospital stay, you go in for a series of treatments, you leave, you have dinner with your family that same day. It's extraordinary. 212 Choices to book a consultation with the great Dr. Gil. 212 Choices, smack dab in the heart of New York City. Drive in, take public transportation, plenty of parking around the facility there. State-of-the-art office. Dr. Gil, tremendous bedside manner. He listens to you. You have that consultation one-on-one. You book it at 212 Choices. 212 Choices. Dial up 212 Choices. Keep that appointment. Get in there. See Dr. Gil for a first opinion, maybe a second opinion or third opinion. Whatever the case may be, Dr. Gil will steer you in the right direction. 212 Choices. Dr. Gil Liederman, 212 Choices on the Romeo program. Yeah, let them talk about Trump. Let them talk about Trump, that wonderful guy that loves his country. What a patriot. Let them talk about Donald Trump. I pass. He's not taking over this program. I pass. I get a little exercised, just a little exercised, when people shoot up schools every other month. I get a little flustered by that whole thought that somebody I know may get shot in the grocery store. Or maybe maybe my wife, maybe my mother. Maybe they walk into the nursing home, God forbid. It worries me a little more than what Donald Trump is doing. That's just me. That's a little more than what this big stuffed turkey is doing. Yeah, stuffed turkey is a good description of the former president. What a big bloated stuffed turkey he is. Is he not? Yeah, he cares about his country. He wants a good riot on his behalf. A good old-fashioned riot with one of these freaks from QAnon leading the way. That's what he wants. All right? He embraces QAnon. These freaks, he embraces them and their ideology. Well, isn't that wonderful? There's your next Republican nominee. A badge of honor, folks. We wear our addictions like a badge of honor. Hey, like I did heroin for God, my whole adult life, and I got clean. So that proves anybody can get clean. God, I was on the street shooting up every night. I was stealing, robbing. I was doing everything. I didn't care. I had a tourniquet around my arm and a spike in my vein, and I enjoyed it. But now I'm clean. I'm clean. Praise God. They always find God. Praise God. I'm clean. I have Jesus Christ to thank for my clean nature. Without Jesus Christ, I'd have a spot. I'd be dead. I would be dead without JC. Jesus Christ came to me one day, showed up with a heroin needle, stuck it in his arm, and he said, "You want to be like me? Do you want to be like me with this heroin needle stuck in my vein? Well, you better stop." And from that day on, I was like I was born again. And now I'm clean. I'm about to help others. Well, aren't you great? Aren't you wonderful? You just wasted 50 years. And now you're going to help people, the badge of honor. Don't help me. I want to be helped by somebody intelligent, you know? How about these people that are on crusades to help others? What kind of credentials do you have? Yeah, I'm going to help everybody. Yeah, that's good. That's all well and good. Can you give me a few credentials so maybe I can trust you? You get these people, they have a second grade education. Yeah, I'm about to help the minions now. I'm going to help everybody I get my hands on now. Really? How about that second grade education you have? What are we going to do about that? I exaggerate, I magnify for effect. I get it. I'm a little loose cannon on the radio. I get it. Never a dull moment on the Romeo program. I get it. But, it's true, right? It's true. It's got a grain of truth. And here's the thing about people like that. They're people that gravitate toward them. Hey, if Scientology can become a big thing, and a goofball like L. Ron Hubbard can have the whole country at his beck and call, anybody can do it, right? It just comes to mind because, oh man, I don't dare touch those people because those people are vindictive. Those people will come after me right here. But I don't fool around with those people. I used to go there and eat a few meals. It was good, boy. They served good food at the Scientology Center in Manhattan. It was pretty darn good. They used to try to convert me, whatever the hell they do. They try to convert me. I said, just give me the chicken breast and let me be on my way. 646-492. That's it. I've given the number quite a few times here. Yeah, you don't understand. Yeah, I never had a calling in life. All my life, I've been nothing. I've been down and out. My mother abused me. My father abused me. My father made me have sex with that dog. There was a dog right there. My father said, copulate with that dog or else I'm going to beat your ass. And I did it because I was forced to do it. My whole entire life was a goddamn mess. And then, I got clean. And I got clean. Now I'm on a crusade. I'm on a crusade to save as many people as I can. I try to render my intelligence and I try to tell them everything that could be if you're just off this demon drug. Just find Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ will get you off that medication. He will get you off that recreational drug that emboldens you to act stupid. He will do everything in his power to release you if you just accept him. I don't want it. I don't want it. All right, I'm done with that topic. I shot my wad. But seriously, all they do, honestly though, all they do is just they have the same profile, and all they do is let it happen. The authorities are dumb. The schools are dumb. They never put an armed person to keep these maniacs out. They don't do anything. And then they wait for the next one. That's all we do. Sitting ducks. Honestly, though, where does it end? Right? You can't control everybody. I understand that. But if people serve notice and they say they're going to do something, and you don't believe them, and then they carry it out, and then you act surprised. It's a bad time to laugh, but it's true. They say, I'm going to shoot everybody. Everybody in my way, I'm going to mow them down with my AK, whatever the hell I got. My military weapon here, 5 of them. I'm going to mow everybody down. They actually say it, and they don't even try to do anything to stop them. I mean, what do we do? If it wasn't so sad, it'd be hilarious. I'd laugh the whole show. But sure, they actually go on the social media page. I hate everybody. I can't stand everybody. I can't stand anyone. I want to die. I want to kill people. And then they don't even listen to them. All right. I don't think he means it this time. He's That's the thing, cry wolf. You know the old adage, you're crying wolf? Yeah, the guy says it 10 times. Maybe the 11th time is going to do something. He says it 10 times. He said that before, nothing happened. And they don't take him seriously anymore. 11 times, 12 times. The 13th time, he carries it out. And everybody said, oh, we didn't see it coming. He never even gave any kind of notice that he was going to, really? Go check out his social media page. Check out his diary, for God's sakes. Go check out his computer. I love these computers, by the way. You can't do anything right on these stupid computers. Remember when you could talk to somebody? Remember when you picked up a phone? You picked up a phone, am I right? Hey, Jeff, you big mouth. Remember this? You pick up a phone, Jeff in Syosset. Remember, you pick up a phone. Can you stop sending? You're sending texts. You're breaking my phone, Jeff. You pick up the phone and you actually talk to somebody. There's actually somebody on the other end. You actually have a conversation with somebody. Oh, that's so antiquated, Romeo. You're living in the past. You can't get anything done these days. Nothing. I tried to get this ride for my wonderful wife. She's due a ride to a doctor that she sees some 35 miles away. I had to be on the telephone for an hour and a half. In other words, her insurance covers a ride there and a ride back, just so you understand. That's what I was trying to get for her. I stay on the phone for an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. I actually got a person. I actually was talking to an actual person after a while. But what was she doing that lasted an hour and a half? She was on a computer there trying to arrange the whole thing so that my wife could be covered on her trip. And why did it not work? Because everything that she did, she had to do through the computer. She's pressing buttons. And she's supposed to be the expert, the person I go to, the woman I go to for a problem. She didn't know what the hell she was doing. How am I supposed to know what I'm doing here at home with nominal skills? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It's a wonder I can do this Zoom connection. If it wasn't for my better half, I'd be talking on a megaphone. Nothing wrong with talking on a megaphone. It used to work. I was watching an episode of The Honeymooners, and Alice dared to get a telephone. And I'll give you the greatest retort of all time. She said, Ralph, I was just calling Trixie upstairs. Ralph said, you were calling Trixie upstairs? What's the matter? Yelling out the window's not good enough for you anymore? That's how I feel about these computers and the electronic way we go about our business these days. I need to talk to a human being. I need to talk to somebody. All right, getting back to this, for crying out loud. I want to read what my wife actually said concerning her surgery and the drugs they gave her. She was in dire pain, and they were giving her just a multitude of drugs. And they were trying one, trying another, combining two, combining three, just to get her out of her pain. This is the protocol. This is what they do. They don't stick with one drug that's effective. They go with 3 or 4. They pile them on. God knows what the side effects are. Do you know that she writes, the medicine I took in the hospital messed me up for a long time. She's picking up on the statement that I made when I took a 2-week trial of an antidepressant way back in 1987, 36 years ago, that it messed me up for 6 months. Well, my wife had all kinds of medicine. She didn't feel well till about 3, 4, 5 months after the surgery, at least, maybe more. These drugs do something to the nervous system, something to the brain that doesn't beg a reversal right away. You don't get to feeling your old self the moment you get off these. This is a situation that takes a good long time to rectify. You're going to feel yourself when this stuff is really out of you. And you know something? If you take medicines like this for an extended period of time, I don't think you ever go back to your old self. I think there's a point in time when it does permanent damage. Now, I have no trial for that, no study for that. I'm not a medical professional. I just play one on the radio a few times a week. But I would gather that if you take a medication for a long period of time, after a while, your body needs it. And if you don't provide it, well, you're up a creek without that paddle. You like that? You know what this whole thing's going to do? I don't want to talk about that. I said I wouldn't. I'm not going to talk about it. Just mark my words. Joe Biden will be president again. He will be reelected in 2024. That's all you need to know. If Trump holds his campaign from a holding cell, it doesn't matter. If you're going to have Biden for another 4 years, because all of these things are going to backfire on our friend. Our friend. Did you get that? Our friend. I want to make friends with the other side. My friend. Isn't he wonderful? You know, in the beginning, when he started out in business, he made the statement. He said, I never had anything in the beginning. Nobody helped me. Not much. My father just gave me $8 million to start. That was a mere bag of shells. And I got underway all by myself. That's what he said, the former president. I'll be right back. The Romeo program is brought to you by Dr. Gil Liederman, smack dab in the heart of New York City, 1384 Broadway, between 38th and 39th. Easy access, Port Authority, Grand Central, Penn Station. 212 Choices, 212 Choices, Dr. Gil. He specializes in radiosurgery. What is it? An invisible beam directed at that cancer, leaving that healthy cells, those healthy cells surrounding that cancer, intact. Something set apart from the others, something painless, bloodless. Oh! Without hospital stay. You go in for a series of treatments. You leave, you have dinner with your family that same day. It's extraordinary. 212 Choices to book a consultation with the great Dr. Gil. 212 Choices, smack dab in the heart of New York City. Drive in, take public transportation, plenty of parking around the facility there. State-of-the-art office. Dr. Gil, tremendous bedside manner. He listens to you. You have that consultation one-on-one. You book it at 212 Choices. 212 Choices. Dial up 212 Choices. Keep that appointment. Get in there. See Dr. Gil for a first opinion, maybe a second opinion or third opinion. Whatever the case may be, Dr. Gil will steer you in the right direction. 212 Choices. Dr. Gil Liederman, 212 Choices on the Romeo program. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene is coming to town. An intellectual is coming to town. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Have you ever heard this woman? Enough said. I ask you that question rhetorically. Have you ever heard her speak? Have you ever heard her pontificate on the matters of the day, folks? Have you ever delved into her past, into her background, folks? Aren't you proud of your country? They would have a person of such high esteem as Marjorie Taylor Greene in a high office. Doesn't that make you proud? I know I'm very proud. Now, this woman is such a laughing stock, such a moron. But again, it's easy for me to throw stones. It doesn't really say much for my character if I make fun of somebody else, right? It means I'm insecure. They used to say that about people that make fun of others or badmouth others. It must be their insecurity. I'm afraid not. Not in this case. Maybe you can tell me that's the case in my other statements. I wouldn't object. But this one, I'm actually telling you the truth. And Miss Green, the statements that she made during her run, during her run in the public eye, the statements, the way she speaks, she is such. But again, it must be me, because I'm telling you, I've heard the most intelligent people say that she's wonderful. I heard that guy on, what's the guy that everybody enjoys so much? Tucker Carlson. He speaks highly of her. It says a lot for Tucker Frederickson, former running back. Oh, I mean, New York Giants. No. Tucker Carlson. Yes. It's such an ancient trick, but one that I wouldn't switch. All right. There's no nicer witch. I wonder if I said that to a person, if they take it badly. I saw two people fighting, and the one woman, it was a video, very quick, two older women in a dollar store. And I came across it so quickly. I changed these things. I don't watch it. Two older women in a dollar store having at it. They were really at each other's throat. And the one kept calling the other, you witch, you, all kinds of bad words that I can't say on the radio, but kept on repeating the word witch, bitch, of course. They love bitch, but witch. And all I could think about while I was watching this video, was, it's such an ancient bitch, but one that I'd never switch. 'Cause there's no nicer witch than you. The Sinatra song. 646-492-2436. Frankie, baby. Frankie Sinatra, the crooner. Did you hear Frank's voice in his younger days? Oh, beautiful. A higher octave. Just gorgeous. But then after smoking 400,000 cartons of cigarettes, you tend to lose your range at one point or another. But the early Sinatra, whoa, what a beautiful sound he had. Later on, he sounded like Lucille Ball. Do you remember Lucille Ball? There's another story. When she was doing I Love Lucy, she was up here. Ricky, I love you, Ricky. When she was doing Here's Lucy in the 70s, she was right here. Viv, talking to Vivian Vance. Viv, please help me with this. I can't. That's what 500,000 cartons of cigarettes will do to the human voice. All right. I'm tired of making these strange observations with no response. No, I'm getting a ton of responses here. If you're listening to me and you enjoy the program, just respond with a yes. Okay? 646-492-2436. If you've been with me from the start, or maybe a little bit after, and you've enjoyed it so far, just respond with a yes. But then again, if you've despised me even further, even more than you did before, respond with a big fat no. Go ahead. Let me see. Let me see what I get here. Oh, you see, all you have to do is ask. All I have to do is ask. Well, I have a yes from my lovely wife. I have a yes from six people. Okay. Six yeses and one very definitive no from a number I don't recognize. I have a no in capital letters with 6 exclamation points. Now that'll give a guy a complex. There's no nicer witch than you who said no. The one who said no, you who said no, there's no nicer. You know, I can tell the gender of the person when they send me an anonymous text. I'm telling you, I can actually tell the gender of a person when they send me an anonymous text. I can tell by the yeses and the nos. Even I don't know what it is. Something about it, I can tell whether it's a man or a woman. I think the one that said no is a woman. I have a distinct feeling the one that said no is a woman. Am I right about that? I think it's an old bag of about 75. Am I right about that? My wife said it's Greg Kelly. She's obsessed. Now, you have to wonder, when somebody despises somebody so much, there's something in there that this guy, Greg Kelly, must have struck a chord. I know he did with me at the start, but I forgot about it. I just kind of I could have blocked it. Struck a chord in a negative, no, I don't mean in any good way, but something so deep to inspire such hatred. There's something. See, you know, there used to be talk show hosts on the air that you love to hate, but in a good way. Is that possible? You actually love to hate Bob Grant, case in point. Jay Diamond, yeah. Lynn Samuels, right? Not really, not so much Lynn, but you love to hate him. You didn't miss a show because you wanted to express your hatred. You wanted to feel the hatred. But, you know, there's something to be said about that kind of appeal. But, man, you just can't stand these people these days. They are so they're giving shows to people who should never see the light of day on the radio. Never in a million years should they be on the radio. Radio used to be something. It used to mean a great deal. They're giving shows to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And it's just exceptionally bad. It's the best way I can describe the state of radio these days. Because they have no criteria. They have no standards. Again, it's easy to criticize. It must be a flaw in my personality. I must be a really, really insecure person. But that's just the way it goes. Oh, okay. My friend Andrew asked the musical question. Why don't you care for Frank Sinatra? I like Sinatra. I'm not obsessed with Sinatra, even though my name ends in a vowel, even though I'm part of the tribe. I'm not obsessed with Sinatra. I'm just not. I never could be. I never will be. But there's one album that he made that was top notch. Sinatra at the Sands. I think it was around 1965 or so. Sinatra at the Sands. It's very short. It's maybe about, the whole entire album is probably about 36 minutes. That's very, very short. But man, is it good. And he was very good at that point. He didn't have that nice high octave. He wasn't on that nice plane he was in his early days, but he was still pretty good. Later on, he sounded as though you know what I mean. He just didn't have the pipes. You know the way Rudy Giuliani sounds when he does a radio show, how he smokes so many cigars that he can't speak anymore. That's what smoking will do to you. You understand a bad lifestyle. The late Rush Limbaugh, before he passed away, his voice was gone. This was before he got sick, when he was still relatively okay as far as cancer and that type of thing. He was an avid cigar smoker. The human body isn't meant to absorb that kind of punishment. You can't smoke and expect to stay on this earth. I know there are exceptions, but too few and far between. Stop smoking. And if you think smoking pot, that you're safe, you had better think again. You are not. Oh, and drinking, of course, goes without saying. Drinking. I never took a drink. That's my badge of honor. I never took a drink. I have no idea what alcohol tastes like. I have never taken a drink. I mean it. I have never taken a drink. Never done a drug, except one time when they gave me Tylenol with codeine, and the room spun, and the bed sank. I remember that. I screamed at the nurse. I said, "Nurse, come in here now. Did you spike my Tylenol? Did you give me something that wasn't prescribed? Did you take it upon yourself to give me a harsh chemical that's causing the room to spin and my bed to sink, making me nauseous as I'm about to projectile vomit? Was that you, nurse?" And she swore up and down that it was just Tylenol with codeine. It's not going to hurt you. Tylenol with codeine. I got to run. It's been real. I've enjoyed it immensely. I cannot tell you how I enjoy talking to you each and every